Hello and welcome to CoreTV News. I am Frank Omalape. President Muhammad Buhari said on Friday that Nigerians should be patient and accept democracy not as a system of government but as a lifestyle in order to ensure development of the country. The president said this when he paid homage to the Emir of Daura, Umar Farouk Umaru, after attending the Jumat prayer at the low-cost mosque in Daura, Katsina State. The president will deliver his speech in Hausa, urged those who were aggrieved after the 2015 elections to seek redress through democratic means and institutions. Buhari noted that Nigeria was adopting democracy from the Western nations and learning fast by avoiding mistakes made when studying the weaknesses and strength of those nations. According to him, if Nigerians decide to be hasty, some avoidable mistakes can be made. Buhari urged them that elections at all levels must be conducted based on democratic principles. He urged those interested in the elected positions to look for a political platform of their choice and declare their interests, and the party would support them. The president said that in 2002, when he joined politics, many people did not give him a chance, but because they knew his antecedents as a military officer. He added that the 2015 polls had clearly shown that it is guts that chooses who becomes a leader. Buhari added that he decided to contest elections because of his commitment to serve the people and not to be served or to amass wealth. And now Senate President Bukola Saraki says the federal lawmakers are resolved to make sacrifices in the light of the current economic situations of the country. He added that his tenure in the National Assembly will be a period of relief for the people of Nigeria. He made this known after a closed-door meeting with former President Olusegun Obasanjo in Abeokuta. Our correspondent Tomote has details.
The closed-door meeting, which lasted 2 hours at the Abeokuta Hilltop residence of the former President Olusegun Obasanjo, ended on a positive note with assurance of a pleasant time for Nigeria and Nigerians. Speaking after it all, Bukola Saraki says the federal lawmakers are not insensitive to the financial challenges of the country and as such are prepared to take austerity measures.
Last time it was about 150 billion, it has come down to 120 billion. I think, look, the situation in the country deserves now that every public servant will almost make sacrifices, and whatever sacrifices is necessary, we will do it.
On the crisis rocking his party, the All Progressives Congress, as a result of ease and Yakub Dogara's emergence as leaders of the National Assembly, he says all will soon be over.
As you can see, things are moving smoothly. Definitely, rest assured that all that will be behind us very shortly.
Also in attendance at the meeting with the former president are Ahmed Yerima, Andy Uba, Tayo Alashwadura and Danjuma Goje, former governor of Osun State Olagunsoye Oyinlola, and former acting national chairman of the PDP, Kawu Baraji.
Thousands of people have thronged the Lorry International Airport to receive the Senate President, Bukola Saraki. Saraki was coming into the state for the first time after his emergence as President of the Senate of the 18th National Assembly on the 9th of this month was received by people from different segments of the society. Rashid has more in this report from Ilorin.
Saraki, who arrived in Ilorin on board an aircraft from the presidential fleet with the inscription Nigeria Air Force 5N FGV, touched down at the Ilorin International Airport ground at about 20 minutes to 2 in the afternoon into the midst of a jubilant crowd. The Senate President, fresh from his meeting with former President Olusegun Obasanjo, was accompanied to the stage with Danjuma Goje, Ahmed Sani Yerima, Andy Uba, former governor of Osun State Olagunsoye Oyinlola, and a chieftain of the APC, Abubakar Kawu Baraje. He later left for the Ilorin Central Jumat Mosque to give glory to God for his emergence as Senate President. With the prayers over, he proceeded the short distance to the Emir's palace, where he thanked all Kwaras for their maximum support before and after his emergence.
I want to use this opportunity to thank you, to thank the entire people of Kwara State for the effort. My colleagues that were in the Senate have left because they have to go back. They're still alive. I want to use this opportunity to thank them immensely. And these are what you call loyal, reliable, dependable, courageous people. These are men of principle, men of honor. These are men that stood firm for justice, equity, and truth. They have shown that they are friends and lovers of us here in Kwara State. And I think that there is no words enough to thank them because they were with us in this journey. I want to, on behalf of my own, concerning all of us, to thank them immensely for what they've done.
The scion of the Saraki political dynasty of Ilorin emerged the Senate president in dramatic circumstances on the 9th of June. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
Now, the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, John Odigio, has assured Nigerians that the party is working round the clock to resolve the crisis that has rocked it in recent times in order to pave way for the party to fulfill its campaign promises to Nigerians. The APC chairman has risen to the defense of the party's national publicity secretary, Lai Mohammed, who is being vilified in his home state of Kwara for signing the statement conveying the party's reaction to the election of the National Assembly leadership on June 9th. Odigi Oyegun said Lai Mohammed's statement was issued with the knowledge and consent of the party, which he said it would be wrong for anyone to make him a sacrificial lamb for carrying out his party responsibilities. Now, with the result of the 2015 elections throwing up Muhammad Buhari as the president, raising the expectations of most Nigerians that the nation is truly headed for a definite change. But a few weeks after his assumption of office, residents of Jos, the Plateau State capital, have been speaking on their expectation of the new government. The report.
It's been 2 weeks and counting since the swearing-in of Muhammad Buhari as president, and with the failure to form a government to put in place any major appointment to give a clue to the direction of his administration, many Nigerians and just the Plateau State capital are giving their take on what they expect of his administration.
So when people are full, when people are eating very well, you see that there will be peace everywhere. So he should think of the masses, pay salaries, at least give the workers their wages. If somebody should work and he will not see his salary, it's very bad. So Buhari should look at the masses and pay salaries so that they will give people the most important things like electricity, water, and other things. Let them think of the masses. That is what I want this new government to do.
While many Nigerians wait for the formation of the cabinet, the will of the government to fight the war against graft is one that borders this Jos resident.
This is sad. We are just pleading. We are just pleading with the appropriate authorities to help, to bring this menace to a halt, because people have died as a result of what is going on. And a lot of families are going on hungry because of what is happening on the plateau and in the country at large.
While the petrol queues persist even after several promises by the government and marketers that it will soon end, many wonder if things will actually return to normal.
Hi. Okay, we expect the new government, as in Buhari, to at least listen to the voice of the masses. They should think of the masses at least. When you are hungry, they said a hungry man is an angry man. So you will see that people will be fighting themselves. They will not be patient, and you will see that there will be no peace.
But while the president continues with his work, many are beginning to wonder why the government has not been formed.
The tribunal hearing cases emanating from the National and State House of Assembly elections in Ekiti State has started its substantive hearing. First to be heard is the case between Tony Adeni challenging the victory of Abiondo Olujimi at the Ekiti South Senatorial election. Adeni and the APC called for the disqualification of Olujimi for not resigning her position as a non-executive member of the Nigerian Communications Commission, while she contested. Rashid has details.
Following the March 28th National Assembly election in Ekiti State, the Ekiti State Election Petition Tribunal, having concluded pre-trial, begins its substantive hearing. The first case to be called was that filed by the candidate of the All Progressives Congress for Ekiti South Senatorial District, Tony Adeni, challenging the eligibility of Abiodun Olujimi of the PDP on the grounds that Olujimi did not resign her appointment at the Nigeria Communications Commission as at the time she contested for the Senate seat.
She didn't resign. She was still in employment when she contested the election. And we knew the trick. The trick is that in this type of situation, people in employment that ought to resign won't resign. And at the end of it, if they lose the election, they will go back.
They probably didn't know because I wasn't a staff of the NCC. I wasn't on their payroll. I wasn't on their nominal role. I was a non-executive commissioner. And as a non-executive commissioner, because I was appointed by the president, I had a right to resign to the president through the minister, which I did.
Counsels to the petitioner and respondent explained the viewpoint of their clients and what they intend to achieve before the tribunal.
She gives 3 months notice. The constitution says 30 days notice to the election. Well, too bad. There's no way to it, because it means she has not even resigned until June 4, that is after the election. So our prayer is that Doctor should be, the chief, Senator Adeni, should be declared the winner.
It's a simple thing from the constitution. She had 30 days, she has given 30 days, and it's as simple as clear as that. They know that. I don't know why they are here, but let's continue with them.
As the substantive hearing on the case is reaching its conclusion, further hearing has been adjourned till July 16 for adoption of the final written addresses of all parties. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
You're watching CoreTV News. I will take a break now. I'll be back shortly with more stories. Join us again.
Lapcon have naked, that's a sign of protest, saying that things are not good.
Women share the most amazing thoughts.
When it's close to the time, our people will protest
on national issues.
That was on their own point.
That was an accident. That is different.
And to do it.
Politics is about being a servant.
Passionately.
Without a woman, there will be no success at all.
Sharing the adorable word of women.
There are some women who have what it takes.
In politics.
Margaret Thatcher, Iron Lady. When she's too soft, she's too soft.
Only on CoreTV News.
All our top stories can be found on our social media platforms, like our Facebook page is facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also follow at CoreTV News NG. For live streaming, log on to youtube.com/CoreTV space News. As part of efforts aimed at providing the people of Imo State with good infrastructure and ensure the financial independence of the state House of Assembly has asked oil companies operating in the state to pay the over 40 billion naira tenement rate audit. Over the motion for the payment of the debt, Henry Ezediaro, member representing Uguta constituency, says the payment will help the state in meeting its obligations. Our correspondent, Ajibade Officer, has details in this report from Owerri.
The Imo State House of Assembly has displayed its readiness to discharge its duties to the people of the state with a call on oil companies to pay up tenement rates owed the state, which have not been paid since 1978. Victor Onyebuchi, member representing Owerri West constituency, while supporting the motion in an interview with CoreTV News, has this to say on the matter.
We are supposed to be paying annually for occupying, for using the state land that was entrusted to the deputy governor of the state to hold. So it's a constitutional matter. So it's a constitutional matter that they should pay it annually. Apart from paying their taxes, they should also pay their.
He added that if such amount of money is paid to the state, it will be a game changer that will help in providing empowerment for the youth and other social amenities. He says it will also go a long way in easing the economic crisis in the state.
Imagine when 40 billion or thereabouts will be injected into the economy of the state. Definitely, all the promises, all the policies of our Epo governor, will be realized within the first part of this administration. But now,
however, the State House of Assembly will sit again next week to conclude the deliberation on how the debt will be recovered. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
And on the salary crisis rocking Osun State has again taken a new twist as the state's doctors have called for the resignation of Governor Ravu Aregbesola. This call was made at a protest led by the Association of Resident Doctors lamenting the non-payment of their salaries for over 7 months. Here again is Rashid report from Oshobo.
It is no more news that the Osun State government, like some others, owe its civil servants over 7 months' salaries. But those on the receiving end of the non-payment of salaries have made several attempts to get the government to pay. But the Association of Resident Doctors of the Ladoke Akintola University Teaching Hospital has taken it to another level. The resident doctors, in a peaceful protest in Oshobo led by their president Olalekan Ajayi and some former officials of the Nigeria Labour Congress, said the state is fast becoming a refugee camp with donation of foodstuffs by all sorts of people and organizations.
Workers in the state that are now refugees. I think we don't have Boko Haram in Osun State. But what is happening in Osun State is even more worse than Boko Haram now. Because when families cannot feed when people cannot feed their families, they have a serious problem. So what is important is that the issue of giving us food is not even the solution. Because if they brought the rice now for the month of June, for the month of July, will the rice again be brought to the people for distribution? If let them come for the month of June, for July, will it be continuous? So the question is just a carryover effect. That the problem of Ghana is a carryover effect. If the problem is solved today, will it be solved tomorrow?
Chanting protest songs, the doctor trooped to the street, causing a traffic gridlock along the busy Station Road area of the state capital to show their grievances. The doctors with placards bearing different inscriptions lament the non-payment of salaries by the state government. This, they say, has brought untold hardship to the people of the state, while the call on Rauf Aregbesola to either pay up or resign.
People are not being paid for 8 months, and how do the government, a responsible government in a state like ours, expect people to live? We are appealing, and I repeat, we are appealing that the government should do the needful at this appropriate time to ensure workers are paid. That is why they are there as government.
The protesters, however, call on stakeholders and well-meaning Nigerians in the state and beyond to prevail on Governor Aregbesola to pay workers their salaries to stop further hardship currently the lot of state government workers in the state. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshobo.
Away from there now, the Nigerian Army has launched an internal investigation into recent war crimes allegations leveled by Amnesty International against some senior military officers. This, according to the Army authorities, has dampened the morale of soldiers and distracted troops from ongoing offensive against insurgents. Our correspondent, Payo Samuel, has more.
On June 3, 2015, Amnesty International released a report indicting the Nigerian military of gross human rights abuse and extrajudicial killing of civilians in the course of the war against insurgency. But the military has continued to describe the claims as a repetition of similar allegations leveled against its officers and men since 2011. It argued that there are no new facts in the new allegations by the rights group, except the casualty figures it released, which have now risen to 8,000.
For the avoidance of doubt, the Amnesty International allegation of human rights abuse and extrajudicial killing of civilians are a rehash of the same allegations made against the military since 2011. No new facts have been unearthed by Amnesty International to warrant their repeated allegations. However, the figure adduced by Amnesty International as victims of extrajudicial killing by the military has kept on increasing, from 4,600 to 8,000 and even as high as 13,000 civilians.
But to ensure transparency in discharging its duties, the military authorities say investigations have begun into the war crimes claims. Nigeria's military leaders also insisted that they have a constitutional and moral responsibility to protect the citizenry.
The military requested Amnesty International to provide a member for the investigation panel to look into the allegations, but the invitation was not honored by Amnesty International. The military has a constitutional and moral responsibility to protect Nigerian citizens and cannot suddenly engage in mass murder as portrayed by Amnesty International allegation. It will be recalled that upon the written request from Amnesty International to the military to comment on the allegations, the military promptly commenced investigation into these allegations.
The military claims that Amnesty International was invited to join the investigation panel, but the rights group has not honored the invite. For now, it is going ahead with its inquiry, which it says also include forensic investigation into all the claims. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
And outside Nigeria now, fears are growing over the health of Greek banks after indications that savers have withdrawn billions of euros in the past week. Capital flight from Belgrade Greek banks this week alone could be more than $2.9 billion. Reports say savers are moving funds as time runs out to resolve Greece's debt crisis. The European Central Bank, ECB, has approved more emergency help for the banks and will review funding again on Monday, officials told news agency. The amount of extra funding has not been officially disclosed. The pace of withdrawals has gained speed as talks between the government and its creditors have collapsed. Greece has less than 2 weeks remaining to strike a deal or face defaulting on a $1.6 billion loan repayment due to the International Monetary Fund. If it fails to make the payment, it risks having to leave the Eurozone and possibly also the European Union. But the European Commission, the IMF, and the ECB are willing to unlock bailout funds until Greece agrees to reforms. There was Greece implement a series of economic changes in areas such as pension, VAT, and on the budget surplus before releasing $7.2 billion of funds, which have been delayed since February. Well, it does a wrap on CoreTV News at this time. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. I'll see you.